goes down in towards Cole County, and we'll just zoom in to where this rotation is to see if we get any streets. We do not, but it's just now passing the town of Allen. Allen looks to be in the clear, so that is some good news there, right on the eastern portions of Pontotoc County and Hughes County. This storm will push towards the south and east at around 30 miles per hour, and upwards of 3-inch in diameter size hail is possible with this storm. Apple size, to be in fact, that is what the 3-inch diameter ruling is. So that's just two of our main threats with this storm, is obviously the tornado and upwards of apple-sized hail in this polygon right here from Gertie down in towards Cole County, right along US 75. That's still a little bit of a ways away. If we track this out, it'll be getting down towards Gertie by around 8:52 this evening, by around 8:58 this evening, right on the southern Hughes County. That's where it's going to continue to push towards the south and east by around 30 miles per hour. And as we look towards the radar image, you can see there's a clear hook echo kind of on this storm. It's been going from Pontotoc County down in towards Hughes County ever so slightly, and now it's obviously in Hughes County. It will continue to push towards the south and east near Gertie, the town of Gertie. As we switch our mics here. Chief Meteorologist Mandy Bailey is in. We're kind of getting set up here with this tornado warning that just got set up in production. If you can put on the other weather mic, that would be great. That is hooked up right now, so we can both be mic'd up at the same exact time. Thank you for that. But this tornado warning is still in place until 9:15 this evening as the storm moves to the south and east by around 30 miles per hour. Mandy, you can start talking whenever you want to.
Okay, so hopefully you can hear me. We're working on getting our mic situation right now. And this current tornado warning, like Hunter has been telling you about, goes until about 9:15 today. And it is moving off to the southeast. So those from Gertie and then downstream of this, Cars Drift Complex, going to be seeing this as it continues pushing off to the southeast. And you may hear a little bit of static real quick as we continue to get this mic situation here. But Allen High School is now going to be mainly to the west and northwest of this exact circulation, if not right overhead. So that is at least some news that this is moving out and east of that main high school area at this time. And I think hopefully we are good to go here. Guys, you're probably going to have to change this camera shot. But this is the area of rotation that we continue watching right here. There's Gertie. And this, again, has that very classic hook shape as it continues moving there through Cole County. Zoom on out for me, Hunter. And if we can go to the maps that don't have the black background for me, just to help me get my bearings here exactly where we are. Okay, so this is Cole County right here. So the main circulation is just to the north of that Cole County line. This does not include Pontotoc County at this time. So those in Ada don't have to worry about this storm, and it's going to continue on this eastward, southeastern track. And then downstream of this, Atoka Reservoir to Wardville. Just keep an eye on this as it continues kind of moving into the area. So Hunter, let's punch up those hail tracks. I know hail has been a big concern with this particular thunderstorm. So far today, at times 3-inch hail recorded. You see that hail legend here going from small to large. And so we also have 3-inch hail that have moved through this clip of Pontotoc County, and now it is going to be coming into northern Cole County with this main hail core as it stays together. Okay, back to radar real quick. We're going to zoom on out, give you a big picture of what's going on. If you're just tuning in with us, we do have this active tornado warning in place coming into Cole County at this time. And this is an isolated supercell. The problem with today's setup, those storms that are all clustered together, tornado threat is going to be a little bit lower. But when we have these lone wolf storms, that's what we're really concerned about, riding the boundary with that tornado potential. And sure enough today, that's what we're seeing out of this one. So those along the Red River, those south, not dealing with storms right now. It's just this one main storm that is is now tornado warned for northern Cole County continues moving in. We also have storms well north of I-40. Those will arrive later on tonight. I know a lot of people frustrated about the football game, but we do have this active tornado warning that is still in place right now. Guys, just let me know when we have Hunter's mic ready to go. We'd like to get his perspective on that as well. But this is going to continue pushing off mainly towards northern Atoka County downstream. And then if it does hold itself together as it rides this front, it could maintain this intensity for quite some time. We've seen it going with that large hail size, at least for the last hour or so. And it was just to the north of Ada several hours ago. So this storm has a very healthy updraft, which unfortunately after dark also means that we are seeing this thunderstorm lasting, even though daytime heating has been dropping on down, but a very typical hook echo shape with this lone supercell. And unfortunately, that does mean that we are concerned about that tornado potential at this time. I don't know if we have his mic, guys. If someone
I could just start. There we go.
Let's go ahead and have Hunter read the specs on that one for me.
Okay, this tornado warning goes until 9:15 this evening, Mandy, going from the southeast at about 30 miles per hour. Tornado also possible with this, and upwards of 3-inch in diameter size hail. These storms all today long. We've been doing cut-ins for the past 3 hours or so, and some of them, mainly this one storm, has been moving pretty slow. This has been the storm that has been producing upwards of apple-sized hail. That is the 3-inch diameter sized hail with this, but this warning continues until 9:15, includes the towns of Gertie, Non, that is in southern Hughes County. It's not populating up on our map, but it's just to the east of US 75 there near the county line. Eventually near Ashland, potentially, Cars Drift Complex. It'll be moving down there if this warning is extended. But until 9:15, this tornado warning does remain in effect. Mandy.
Okay, so Hunter, do me a favor. Let's go back to those maps again with more of the earth terrain so I can see roads a little bit better here. Let's track out this center of circulation and also pause it. Draw a ruler tool here so we can show where it is with relation to the Cole County line at this time, because this is going to be just a couple miles from crossing that county line. And then this is 75 right here that goes north-south. So if you know any folks driving on that coming out of Cole County, we continue to see with the recent scans that main circulation holding together. Draw that a little bit further south for me, Hunter. Yeah, more like that. We're going to track this out. This is a bit of a more rural area, which we never want tornadoes, but it's always better that they stay away from populated cities. Here's that main track, Parker, at 9:08 p.m. Just so you know, the time right now is 8:50 p.m. here on your Saturday night. Non there at 9 o'clock, Legal Church at 9:15, the 44 Arena there at 9:14, and then that Cars Drift Complex downstream at 9:17. At this time, this warning only goes until 9:15 today, unless perhaps they extend this downstream, but we are going to be monitoring that potential for these storms to continue wrapping up. You see the hook right here. It's continuing to turn counterclockwise. That's what we see with these supercells, and we hope that this storm starts to fall apart. The problem is there's nothing that's going to be interacting with this outside of that cold front to slow it down. We don't have any other rain. We don't have any other storms that are coming in to kind of mess up this area of rotation. And so at this time, the tornado possibility is going to be staying very real with this thunderstorm, because that warmer air is going to be brought into the storm right here. And so this is where we're seeing that area of rotation. This continues drifting off to the southeast. Zoom out a little bit for me, Hunter. We'll continue to show you what's going on here. We do have some more rain building in there just to the north of Atoka Reservoir and up through Wardville. And then we also have some of this lighter precip shield extending out ahead of this. So the one thing that could potentially help is if we get rain far enough to the east and southeast main or ahead of that main circulation, is maybe it can start tapping into some of that energy in the atmosphere. Otherwise, this storm really has free game all day today as far as what we are expecting here. Any new updates coming in from the National Weather Service, Hunter?
Let's see. We really don't have anything coming in. Yeah, there has really been nothing as of right now. They've been just talking about how rotational velocity has increased to around 50 knots just west of Gertie. That's pretty much all we have gotten since around 8:45 this evening, Mandy.
Okay, so there's not going to be a lot of reports likely coming in due to just the fact that we are past sunset. You can't see a whole lot at these just from the distance. You're going to be expecting a lightning shot to illuminate what's going on and what you could possibly see here. So it's just going to be waiting if we have any spotters in the area of getting reports from them and also seeing here what the National Weather Service is saying. Let's go ahead and punch up velocity. I want to show everyone again where this main center of rotation is. I would say this looks a little bit more broad in this last scan. It's going to be right here, but this storm has been cycling now for at least about an hour. They put a tornado possible tag on it. It came back down. They took it off. It came back up very quickly, might I add. And so that is something we are going to be watching with this rather closely. It looks like we have an update with that, Hunter, with that tornado warning.
Yes, so this tornado warning, it's still going until 9:15. What they did was up the hail size. Now there is likely the possibility for tennis ball sized hail with this. So a little bit of a downgrade from the 3 inches. The tennis ball generally is around 2.5 inches in diameter. So still very dangerous, a very destructive storm here. Tennis ball sized hail obviously can cause a lot of damage to your homes, to your vehicles, to anything that this storm does impact. So obviously do not go outside, stay indoors for this because we have a tornado possible, we have the hail as well with this storm, and obviously some very strong winds.
Yeah, and I mean, I would add 2.5, 3 inch hail. It's large hail either way. It's going to do damage either way. So at that point, it really doesn't matter as much how big the hail is because you're still going to have the cracks, the damage, the problems with those large hailstones falling from the sky there. Zoom, actually slow motion for this for me. I just want to make sure we don't have a secondary area of rotation building just to the south of that main area right there. Do you see that, Hunter, right over 75 going forward right here?
Yep. I do see
go
that.
back to reflectivity. I just want to make sure that we don't have this secondary storm kind of pulsing up. Sometimes they can cycle or they can split. Today we've had a lot of splitting supercells, and what this potentially could mean is that if this storm splits, you're going to have more of this east mover, and then you're going to have something further south that's going to continue to kind of be building there. So definitely could be happening. We may have a second updraft trying to form at this time. That would be over northern Cole County there, but for now, no word yet on confirmation. We'll just have to wait and watch and see kind of how this storm trends going forwards. But now just a couple miles there from the Cole County line, this is the main area of rotation that we continue monitoring. That's where the main updraft is. That's also where the main hail size is going to be, those very large hailstones that continue falling. And we do know that we're seeing at least tennis ball size hail with this lone supercell. If you are just now tuning in, we have one tornado warning that is still in place here until 9:15 today. Other storms are well north of us. This is the only deal here across our Texoma DMA at this time. And I know that can be frustrating for you that are maybe not even anywhere near this thunderstorm, but we are going to continue relaying this information as this tornado warning remains. And this tornado, we don't have confirmation that anything has touched down, but again, it is dark. It's very possible something could have touched back down, gone back up, touched back down again. And obviously it is important that we continue keeping our eyes on this as that rotation has maintained intensity there. Let's punch up shear rate too and see if that's co-located with this area along and east of 75. We may have that secondary area of rotation starting to build in. This one farther north, though, still looks pretty strong. They're coming in with our shear rate products, so that's something that it's definitely ramped up rather quickly. And where it ramped up was mainly just east and southeast there of Allen High School. So no signs of that weakening yet. We have a couple other severe thunderstorm warnings. Let's zoom out, Hunter. Let's go ahead and touch base on those real quick, just while everyone gets their bearings, and we're still waiting on any more information coming in from this.
Okay, so we have the severe thunderstorm warning that is kind of the outline of this tornado warning that pretty much just covers the entirety of this storm. That warning goes until, once my graphic will load, around 9:30, I believe. Yes, 9:30 for Cole, Hughes, and Pontotoc counties. This is for a very destructive storm near Gertie. 3-inch hail still within this warning, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and then downstream of the warning, this including Pittsburgh County. This one goes until 9:45 as the storm continues south and east. Golf ball size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So yeah, that's all the warnings we have as of currently.
Okay, and Hunter, do we have our Facebook stream also up and going? We need to make sure we have that as well. So this is crossing over the Cole County line right now, and as it continues pushing east, we are seeing pretty rapid clearing there where the storm was as far as anything out to the west. So Pontotoc County, you're going to be completely in the clear from this particular tornado warning, but it is going to be drifting there into far northern Cole County, and then eventually may clip some of Atoka County downstream as it continues moving on this path. That severe thunderstorm warning goes until 9:30 there for Cole County. That's what you see surrounding outside of that tornado polygon, but the tornado warning there is still in place here for another 15, 18 more minutes or so. We are hoping that this storm kind of cuts itself off as it cycles here, but so far that has really been no word from that. As this cold front continues pushing south tonight, any storm that crosses that boundary will be able to see that low level rotation rapidly increasing here for tonight. And sure enough, that's what we saw at least a little bit ago with this storm that prompted that tornado warning with this as it continued to move over that cold front. So heading into tonight, we could see more storms. There is still going to be a low tornado potential for a lot of these. The good news is that in recent scans, while there's some broad rotation, it looks like it's possibly getting a little bit weaker. So that is something that we hope continues. But at this time, still watching for the chances of this rotation to be crossing right over 75. They're coming out of Cole County and going north there into Hughes County. Zoom on out for me real quick, Hunter. Let's give everyone the bigger picture right now. This is the main storm in town. This is why we are on the air, because of this confirmed, or because of this tornado warning with the possibility of a tornado. We also have storms farther off to the north that so far have not produced anything tornadic, but we are going to continue monitoring this tornado potential ongoing over the next several hours and really heading into that early overnight time frame here. So we continue to watch for the potential of any more storms even into tomorrow producing large hail, but at least 3-inch size hail with this particular thunderstorm that continues to move off to the southeast. Those in Colgate right now, this is going to be staying mainly to your north, drifting off to the east, and those in northern Atoka County do need to watch this with vested interest. Those in Atoka proper right now, you're going to be okay, and everyone in the I-35 corridor right now also going to be just fine as far as any of these thunderstorms. Antlers downstream might have a few storms, but at this time that tornado warning does not include you as well. This is continuing to drift more east than south, and we'll be clipping that kind of northeastern quadrant there of Cole County. Flash flood warning also maintains it stays in place there for northern Pittsburgh County as these storms are moving in today. Hunter, when you can, I know you're doing a lot. Let's see what else the National Weather Service is saying about this particular storm. We do know it remains under that tornado warning for a bit of time, but we're not getting a lot of information in here as long or outside of there's large hail, there's strong winds, 60 to 70 miles per hour, and there's a tornado possibly. No confirmation of anything on the ground at this time, but that very well could be occurring, and we're just waiting to see what happens as this storm continues to cycle here. Any updates, Hunter?
So as of 7 minutes ago, National Weather Service said that the rotation in this storm has slightly decreased. It was around 50 knots earlier, but now it's down to around 30 knots, just west of Gertie by about 3 miles. So kind of a good sign that, yes, there is still rotation, but it is slowly starting to weaken / broaden out, but it's still there. You can obviously see the red and the green within this storm, so obviously it's still a threat. It's right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw this storm rapidly increase. It came back down, then it increased again. And so this is something that could do the same thing going forwards, heading into the rest of tonight. But again, Gertie is now watching this main circulation be south of you. So that's good news there, but it continues to track right over that Cole County line. So anyone on the road tonight, let's zoom on in, Hunter, to northern Cole County, see if we can get street by street here as far as what we're seeing there in northern Cole County. When you can, let's read out some of those streets for me.
Yeah, so we have, let me get my pointer on here. We have Pine Road right here and north 3830 Road, obviously US 75, zooming in just a little bit more. We're not going to get that road. What about over here? Okay, so mainly just Pine Road is what's popping up. We got Pine and Legal Road. We have east 1585 road, north 3820 road within the warning. East 1560 road, that's pretty much all we have right now. Over here, we got north 3770 road. That's all we pretty much have on our system right now, Mandy.
Okay, so that's going to be the possible roads that this circulation could be crossing over. We are continuing to see it taking more of a southerly trajectory as this is moving towards Cole County. It was moving more east. Now it's moving a little farther south. And, you know, storms can do this. They wobble in and out quite a bit. And this is going to be going where the best instability, the best energy for this storm to maintain itself is. And so while we are waiting for to really see what it's going to be doing, this is going to continue to try to tap into the environment it's given, and it's going to try to keep going. So far, it's broadened out, but we're still seeing these signs of that circulation right over the Cole County line. And as this continues tracking southeast, we hope that it's going to dissipate. But at this time, that circulation, we can punch up shear rate, Hunter, and just kind of show everyone how that's hail track. So that's a problem too. But we'll show everyone what that shear rate looked like. It really spiked here to the southeast of Allen High School. This is what prompted the tornado warning back when you see some of this lighter blue there with the shear rate. That's when it really increased. Then off to the southeast of that, we're also seeing that pretty decent shear marker really for several scans in a row. Since then, seen some of that coming down, but moving a little more south. And so that is something that this storm, at least trending downwards for the time being, it's not out of the question. It could really ramp back up quickly. If we can we punch up those wind particles, Hunter? I want to see where exactly this cold front is in relation to the storm. We can punch up reflectivity as well, get both of those going at the same time and kind of draw out where that cold front is. While he's doing that, this is the hook right there. You see that little finger here. It's definitely cycled and moved farther south. And so as it continues to do so, we'll see if this northern one falls apart or if the southerly one ramps up again, possibly producing something tornadic. But at this time, still no confirmation of any tornado on the ground. We are going to be watching to see how this trends. Looks like we have all due southeast winds at this time. The cold front is still a bit to the north. Does that jive with what's on the Oklahoma mesonet, Hunter? While we check that. Where we're watching for is where this cold front is moving with this storm. Again, that boundary can often be a little bit of an accelerating point with that rotation. So if the storm crosses the boundary, that would be a big problem for us to see a storm do that and continuing to move over there. Hunter, any more updates coming in?
So the cold front is that, I would say, pretty much jives where it's at. Generally right there, maybe a little bit more south. But that's generally where the cold front is. Any updates from the National Weather Service? We have rotation still broadening out. It's still there south of Gertie, as we were talking about, eventually crossing Highway 75. And they're just talking about other storms. But that's all we have currently right now.
Okay, let's zoom back on in here. So as this front is not really an issue with this storm, we're mainly watching for this low-level rotation to continue and likely won't see it spinning up or spinning down really quick, but we have seen this trend of generally broadening out the rotation as it moves off to the east there. They did trim back this tornado warning. It still includes Gertie, does not include areas to the west and northwest. Allen High School there in Pontotoc County now no longer included in this tornado warning at this time. Those in Panther Creek facility, here's Carr's Drift Complex, and here's Boiling Springs Church. They're not included in the tornado warning either. In Wardville, there in northern Atoka County, also not included in this tornado warning at this time. So this is broadening out some. We're going to see how this trends. Hopefully they're able to drop this warning here shortly so we can get you back to the games. But for now, this tornado warning remains in place here for about another 9 to 10 minutes right overhead there of Cole County. And this is going to be crossing right over 75 at this time. So if you're traveling north there through Cole County, going north towards Calvin or somewhere else, we're going to continue seeing the chance for that rotation to be moving overhead. Timing this out, 9:15 coming towards Parker, 9:22. They're in Legal Church, 923 Cars Drift Complex, 9:35 p.m. Wardville, and this will also be impacting folks downstream of that there across northern Atoka County at this time. Let's go back to those hail tracks, Hunter. Show everyone, again, in addition to that tornado threat today, we continue watching this very large hail potential. We have seen the hail core coming down some in recent scans, now likely seeing 2-inch hail. Following with this, we had 3-inch hail earlier when it was over northern Pontotoc County. So this has continued dropping on off. Some could be a sign that this storm is cycling. It could also be a sign that this storm is also going to be weakening and kind of moving out of that better environment and that better tornadic environment heading into tonight. The best tornado potential still stays in northeastern Oklahoma, but we're tapping into this for our northern counties from Ada all the way through Colgate towards Atoka, and then some folks there in eastern Oklahoma. Any more updates coming in, Hunter?
Not that I have seen, Mandy. All we have currently is, we don't really have any update from the National Weather Service as of now. They're just talking about a different storm in Oklahoma that appears to be tornadic as well. But nothing from our storm. Still broad rotation, crossing Highway 75 at the moment.
Okay, so this is going to be moving straight over the county line at this time and right over the highway. So still downstream of this, and we'll be watching for anything potentially spinning up. We can go ahead and go back to reflectivity and show everyone what it looks like with that. We have quite a bit of lightning. Even driving in earlier today, I could actually see all this lightning just from us here in Grayson County, looking way north into Oklahoma. Several large CG strikes with that one, and so we do continue to see that occurring. But the little finger, the little hook right here, now continues directly moving south. We do have a pretty good hail core out ahead of this main hook, and that could work to kind of slow down some of this rotation, but right now it's going to be right over that county line at this time. Any more updates, Hunter?
So we got a report from the National Weather Service. Golf ball sized hail. This is actually from the emergency manager in Hughes County. Golf ball sized hail in Gertie as of 5 minutes ago. So this storm is confirming that they are producing and receiving upwards of golf ball sized hail from the storm. That's all the updates I have so far. Obviously not a lot. But yeah, that's all we got.
Okay, so go ahead and draw an arrow for me, Hunter, where this right here is the inflow notch, and this is going to be the hook. So if there is a tornado on the ground, it's going to be right here. You can see Hunter drawing in that area of rotation, that counterclockwise circulation. It is right over that county line at this time, actually towards the southern extent of this tornado warning, and it is going to continue moving off to the southeast with time. How fast is this moving, Hunter?
The storm's moving at 30 miles per hour still to the southeast. It's been pretty consistent. The warning, that's all it has right now. Let's see here. Okay, the new warning that came out, southeast at 15, so it is slowing down. Still same direction, near Gertie, and still having the potential for tennis ball size hail. Very large, Mandy.
Yeah, so I think this storm cycled, and we're now seeing the southern extent of that really rapidly pushing south. So northern Cole County going to have a better threat of something tornadic more so than anyone north of that now at this time. We have about 5 minutes left on this tornado warning current time. Still no word yet from the National Weather Service on what their thoughts are. But this is why we are on the air, this little nodge right here. And still showing signs of it bringing in a lot more warm air and some turning there at the lower levels. And shear rate, let's go back to that, Hunter, and see if we have any change with that. Just with the scan short term, it does look like it is coming up and down a bit. We're now seeing more of that lighter blue still popping up. And so this has really been, lack of better words, cycling, dropping down, coming back up, dropping back down. And so I expect that is what we will likely be able to see going forwards for the remainder of tonight. So northern Cole County still under that tornado warning. Do we have a new update coming in, Hunter?
Yeah, so we have spotters with the emergency manager in Hughes County. They are seeing a wall cloud. They couldn't tell about the rotation. They just have been able to see a wall cloud from this storm that is tornado warned. Mandy.
Okay, so confirmation that we do definitely have a wall cloud now with this tornado warned storm. Not sure yet if we have a funnel or anything else underneath that wall cloud. Again, it is dark, so we're relying primarily on lightning to illuminate what's going on in these very rural areas. Another update coming in there, Hunter?
They're going to reissue the tornado warning given the cyclonically convergent constant rotation. That's what they're saying, Mandy.
Okay, so rotation still maintaining its intensity, and given
Yep.
that new report, you said another downstream warning gonna be coming?
Downstream, yep, with an intense updraft, they're saying, with the storm.
Okay, so downstream warning coming for this particular supercell that will likely extend again into Cole County as well as some of Atoka County. So if I were to guess, the warning is not out yet, but anywhere from here going out, if we want to draw that track out, Hunter, basically from right here and pushing off to the southeast, that's where this new tornado warning is likely going to be coming for these areas, giving you a little bit more of a heads up here downstream. So places that are potentially going to be under this new tornado warning: Pine School, they're at 9:13 p.m. Parker, they're at 9:17 p.m. 44 Arena, they're at 9:24. Cars Drift Complex, they're at 9:27. Lone Star Church at 9:31 p.m. and then Wardville at 9:37. The timeline for this potentially tornadic supercell to be reaching your location there. Again, downstream tornado warning is expected to come with this main cell, and that will likely skirt just to the east and northeast. A Panther Creek facility, and then Caro Fire Department, Wardville to Martin Lake. All of these folks more so a little bit south of kind of how that current polygon is drawn are going to be expected to be in that new warning. We're just waiting on the National Weather Service to issue that. They've said that they are going to reissue this warning, and yeah, here it is right now, as we suspected, with more of this southerly track instead of more of that easterly track. So this is now diving south through Cole County at this time. New warning goes until 10 o'clock today for Cole and Hughes County, but downstream of this, we will also need to be watching Atoka County if it maintains itself, could possibly even track that far south. These large thunderstorms with very strong updrafts. What often happens when we see large hail, the storm being very healthy, the healthier it is, the longer it takes to die off, and unfortunately, we hope it can weaken before it produces a tornado, but at this time, still seeing these areas of rotation forming there now into Cole County. Let's go ahead and punch up velocity again, show everyone where this exact couplet is, because we are seeing that a little bit better now coming over some of these streets. Let's zoom into these streets and those just ahead. I want to lead everyone a little bit with this tornado warning. Here's Pine Road. Again, when the radar bounces back a signal, whatever it comes in contact with, it then sends the signal back. So it's sending back what it's already occurring. By the time we receive it, you can expect more stuff a little bit ahead of that to be picking up with the next one. So knowing that this is already where the rotation has been, expect that to be a little bit further ahead of this going forward. This right here is Pine and Legal Road. This is 44 Arena. We've been talking about that in the track. That's where that's located. This is Pine Road right here. This is North 3830 Road. This is 75 that goes north-south, and so we are going to be seeing that rotation pretty much already crossing that at this point through Cole County. And then this north 3770 road, there is now trimmed back from the tornado warning. So active tornado warning still goes until 10 o'clock tonight. We have photos. Let's show that. This is sent in from Bing, Oklahoma. Oh, look at that. This is a storm. Now, this is why we were on the air. Look how vertically stacked this storm is. Sometimes we call this kind of a stack of plates. You see the rotating mesocyclone there with these striations. That is all the updraft. You have the turning of this updraft with height and all of that vertical development and vertical motion here. So the wall cloud will be seen somewhere back in here. Obviously the green light there kind of illuminating that. But this was where down here would be where the wall cloud would be located. And if there was anything tornadic, it would also be back in there. But yeah, billowing big time cumulonimbus cloud here with this supercell thunderstorm. Any more updates, Hunter?
No updates from the National Weather Service. We're still watching the broad rotation of this storm with the tornado warning that goes until 10 o'clock tonight. Eventually, this rotation is going to be making its way over close to the 44 Arena and Cars Drift Complex, maybe out towards Oklahoma Highway 31 there. But the newest scan of the rotation, it's just broad, Mandy. It's kind of proud here.
Well, but keep in mind, we are
Yeah.
in bad radar coverage out this far, so we're only getting scans of the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. We're not getting those low-level scans. The lowest level, that's going to be where you have the fastest and most consistent rotation here. And so, unfortunately, as we get out towards Cole County and towards Atoka County, the radar coverage really starts getting a little bit worse as far as what angle that beam is able to sample. And as a reminder, the Durant radar not yet operational yet, so we're pulling either out from Oklahoma City or Dallas, Fort Worth. As you can imagine, in this far in Oklahoma, the DFW radar not helpful really, and we are quite a ways from Oklahoma City at this time. Hunter, go ahead and read out this track for me.
So this is moving southeast at 20 miles per hour, and you'll be hitting Pine School right now. It's right over you. The rotation is 921 for Parker, Mowdy Ranch at 931. Tonight, Lone Star Church, 934. Wardville there at 942, and eventually Bethany Church. It'll be getting to you around 944 if this storm does hold together. Mandy.
Okay, so at this time, given that the warning goes until 10 o'clock, let's plan on this storm holding together. So anyone in that track here over the next 30 minutes or so, it is fair bet for us to see that. Okay, we're getting another photo in. Let's punch up this one. Allen, Oklahoma. Look at that big time hail. This is why we are seeing this hail core holding itself together, that strong updraft producing at least tennis ball size hail, and it's spiky hail. Look at that. That's not anything that I want hitting my house, my vehicle, or anywhere that I'm at. So we do recommend you stay inside, away from windows. I know sometimes some people like to go outside to look at the thunderstorms. We get that they look great. We get that some people are scared. Either way, you got to stay inside, protect yourself. You don't want to regret your choices tonight down the road in case there was something that you did later that you look back and wish you did differently. So take that good choice today and make sure you are seeking that shelter, especially those in the middle of this tornado warning. Okay, we are at 9:18 p.m. here on your Saturday night. The first tornado warning has been canceled. We're still holding on to this new tornado warning now over far northeastern Cole County. Seeing some markers with the shear rate dropping on off in recent scans, a little bit of cycling there with some of that rotation. We hope it's on this downward trend, but anytime we see those shear markers with more colors here, definitely showing signs of more intensity. Any more updates, Hunter?
No updates, Mandy. We still have the tornado warning until 10 o'clock. Cars Drift Complex, even the Panther Creek facility is under the tornado warning, and along Oklahoma, I believe this is Oklahoma Highway 31. It is Mowdy Ranch. Some of these roads, it's getting near the shear marker. Old 75 Road, Pine Road, Ilburn Road down towards the furthest extent of this tornado warning. Indian Boulevard, right along the county line there. Even down to Lone Star Church Road. That is where a majority of our roads are within this tornado warning, Mandy.
Yeah, so let's also, let's punch up rainfall rates real quick. Just make sure we don't have any flooding potential with this thunderstorm as well. We don't have a lot of rain outside, but we know the ground is really dry as drought continues getting worse and worse. So these rainfall rates could easily, I believe, this is probably going to be at least over an inch an hour. If we query that, almost 2 inches an hour with that. So we could see some minor flooding ongoing as well in Cole County within the polygon here of that tornado warning. Yeah, 1.4, 1.9. That just means it's raining pretty fast, pretty quickly. And so we could easily pick up a quick ½ inch to an inch of rain within the next 20, 30 minutes, possibly even sooner than that, depending on how quickly it is raining there. Okay, so again, we have this active tornado warning going until 10 o'clock tonight. We had a tornado warning earlier. This one has been issued downstream, mainly for this area of rotation that just maintains its intensity. Now, this is still slowly, very slowly. I want to emphasize how slowly this is weakening because it looks broader, but this storm is still moving. And guys, if we still have that photo of that supercell that we showed a little bit earlier, let me know when we can. I want to punch that up again and show everyone what this storm looks like from the west. This takes taken in being, looking towards Cole County there. You see the backside of this storm, and look how tall this is. Look how massive this is. The rotation is all going to be right here in the mid-levels. That's what we call the mesocyclone of this thunderstorm. With that, you go further south. This is going to be the lower kind of base part of the thunderstorm. We had a report of a wall cloud with this. Underneath that wall cloud, if there is rotation, that's where it's going to be potentially on the ground. Hunter, have any more updates?
So the National Weather Service is going to be issuing a downstream severe thunderstorm warning for Atoka County. Unsure if that is after the tornado warning, they're going to expire the tornado warning, or what's going to happen, but
well, the new warning is out now, so let's zoom out. Hunter, go ahead and read me the specs with that. Sometimes when they issue these downstream warnings, and not always, but I will say, if they issue a downstream warning, sometimes that could mean they're going to let that tornado warning get canceled, and they'll cover it up with the severe thunderstorm warning. We hope that's what it means tonight, but go ahead and read the specs with that one, Hunter.
So this is a newly issued severe thunderstorm warning for Atoka, Cole, and Hughes counties through 10:15 tonight. Still holding on to the tennis ball size hail with this storm. So it's still very strong, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with this. Make sure you're indoors, anywhere from Wardville down to the Atoka Reservoir. Daisy, even in the panhandle of Atoka County, you are under this severe thunderstorm warning. A little bit of the Indian Nation Turnpike as well. Even up Highway 69, you're going to be dealing with this severe thunderstorm here in the next, say, half hour to an hour or so. Mandy?
Okay, so we will be watching downstream of this, the heavy rainfall, the winds, and even some of the hail to also be impacting those from McGee Creek Reservoir all the way up through Atoka Reservoir and everywhere in between. This is 69 that runs through here, correct, from Atoka heading up towards Pittsburgh County. Okay, so right now 69 is not under this tornado warning, but we are going to be seeing some of the impacts of this thunderstorm already over the highway, the heavy rainfall. If anyone's traveling tonight, trying to head up to Tulsa, I mean, Tulsa itself is dealing with thunderstorms, but you're going to be running into very heavy rainfall, possibly some hail all along the highway here. And you're not going to be able to see anything. If you're hoping to look back here and see this thunderstorm, the only way you get a good picture or a good view of this, if you are west where there is no storms, because you're going to have a clear view back to the east at this area of rotation. If you are farther south, if you are farther east, and mistakenly think you can see what's coming, you're going to see all of the rain, all of the wind, all of the lightning, and you're not going to know what hit you until you're right there on this area of rotation. This kind of looks like a little bit of a bean here. That is that supercell, classic supercell structure shape that we often see here on radar. At times, the hook has been well defined. Others, not nearly as much. Right now, it's not as much as it was just a few scans ago. And let's zoom on into this, Hunter. We can slowly stair-step through what this has looked like from Atoka County. Right there is actually one of the better views I think we've seen with this hook. That was just around 8:30. Then it moved to the east. We saw more air being pulled into this storm, at times the hook getting a little bit bigger, and it's maintained this very well-defined structure all the way through 9 o'clock. Now that we're past 9 o'clock, we've seen the southern extent of this storm kind of getting a little bit more blobby, for lack of better words, with this northern extent. So it's just kind of waiting to see if we get more warm air that we're pulling into this storm, it gets going more, or if everything out ahead, this kind of upward anvil, the stratostack, and also that rain shield out ahead of the storm, if that tries to cut off any potential energy we have, or if that's going to continue to just feed on everything out ahead of it and work its way east tonight. It has now crossed 75, so the main circulation is east of 75 there in Oklahoma. That is some good news, at least with that. So the tornado danger for anyone along that 75 there in Cole County and up towards Hughes County, that has now dropped on off, but this is going to continue to maintain itself there through the rest of Cole County. Any more coming in from the National Weather Service? Hunter?
Nothing from the National Weather Service at all. Still holding on to the tornado warning that goes until 10 o'clock. Still holding on to that pretty nice circulation. Obviously,
that definitely looks better in that scan than it did before.
It does, yeah. Even if we're far away from the radar, that's...
Zoom in and let's see if we can query some of those numbers right there with that velocity cup. Let's see what inbound and outbound winds look like.
Okay. So we got, let me click on the hail. Or the hail. The wind. We got 74, 50. Yeah, okay, so that 74 is obviously pretty good.
Yeah, 50 to 75 mile per hour winds rotating with this storm. We definitely have some healthy winds. This has come up a bit in the last scan, I think.
Yeah.
Go back with this a couple scans before for me and just kind of walk it forward. So right here, you can still see the broad rotation. It wasn't nearly as tight, but go forward, Hunter. We're starting to see these colors with this velocity data coming in, spiking a bit. This is what we've seen with this storm kind of quite a bit in the last hour. It drops down, it comes back up, it drops down, it comes back up again. And it looks like it's at least at an active point where it's coming back up again. That could mean something could spin up real quick, touch down, and then lift up. My guess would be with this thunderstorm, if we do have anything in contact with the ground, it's jumping up and down quite a bit. It's making contact and then coming back up. No confirmation of that at this time, but if it does, likely going to be fairly brief just based off of what I'm seeing. Hunter, any more updates?
No updates. They're still pretty quiet. They're talking about a whole nother storm, not really focused on ours, but still, I'm hoping that this means that with that downstream severe thunderstorm warning, that this warning for the tornado warning will be expiring in a half hour just about, but still holding on to the shear rate. It's still there. We got shear markers continuing into the tornado warning box, polygon itself. So there's still something there. It's still wanting to do something.
Yeah, we may have the original mezzo have died off, and now we're seeing a little bit more of a southern extent of that. We'll have to see as this goes forward what that does. But you at least have this very consistent trail and then a possible jump south with maybe even another consistent trail following that going downstream. Let's zoom on out real quick. I just want to show everyone what radar looks like across the board. Obviously, we are focused on this tornado warning here. We have a video. Let's go ahead and show that. Oh, wow, look at that. Ooh. Coming in from Cole County, Lindsay sent that in. Wow, look how electric that is. Look how high, too, this lightning goes with this thunderstorm. This is a towering thunderstorm. That's the lone one in the game. And yeah, you see that CG strike right there. And, man, you're relying on lightning to illuminate what's going on at the ground here. So if you are out in Cole County or you are near this storm and you're trying to see what's going on, you're, again, just kind of waiting on these brief seconds of lightning to illuminate that storm, and then you go back to looking like this. And yeah, man, that looks pretty good. If we can, guys, if you guys can pause that video right with the lightning strike and get a photo of that. I know that takes some time, but would love to see what that looks like with this thunderstorm too. Okay, going back to the radar now. We have one active tornado warning that continues until 10 o'clock tonight. Storms also severe. Atoka County, Cole County, some of Pontotoc County is barely included there in that warning, as you can see Hunter moving in here. And this lone cell has the tornado potential because it's by itself. All the storms well off to the north that are up near I-40 away from our area, those so far, even though the best tornado parameters are up there today, they're fighting each other to see who can get all of that energy. This storm is not fighting anyone. It has free reign, and because of that, it has really been able to get going and just kind of maintain this low-level rotation ongoing. Pause this real quick for me, Hunter. I want to draw a kind of a ruler tool from this main area of rotation to the county line, both in Atoka and also there in Pittsburgh. We're talking just a couple miles here. So if they are planning on reissuing this, this likely will not make it till 10 o'clock. This is going to move out of Cole County well before 10 o'clock. And so we're going to need something downstream to continue seeing what is going. Looks like this new severe thunderstorm warning for Pittsburgh County kind of includes this whole storm now. So, Hunter, that's making me think they are not going to continue a tornado warning there as Tulsa takes over. Yeah, they're kind of just enveloping the tornado warning in severe thunderstorm warnings. The new one just for Pittsburgh County, kind of going along the county line here, that will include the track of this storm.